You are slowly breaking your body by doing absolutely nothing. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why simply not walking might be one of the most dangerous habits you've normalized, and how fixing it is easier than you think. Before you go any further, pause for a second. Ask yourself honestly, how much have I walked today? If the answer is not much, don't wait until the end. Stand up and take a few steps right now. So the question isn't whether walking is important. The question is, how long can your body tolerate its absence? Because every step you don't take is a step away from how your body was meant to function. And every step you do take is a quiet return to what you were built for. The idea that the human body evolved primarily for movement, especially walking, is not just a poetic statement. It is a deeply rooted biological reality. Every major system in your body, from your muscles and bones to your heart and brain, it's been shaped over millions of years with one expectation: that you will move frequently, steadily, and for long periods of time. Walking in particular is not some optional fitness activity. It is the foundation upon which your body's entire design rests. If you look at the structure of the human body, the evidence is everywhere. Your legs are long and powerful, built with large muscle groups that are incredibly efficient at sustained, low-intensity movement. Your feet are uniquely arched to absorb impact and provide forward propulsion. Even your spine is structured in a way that balances your body upright, allowing you to move efficiently over long distances without excessive strain. This isn't accidental. It reflects a history where survival depended on walking, searching for food, migrating across landscapes, and adapting to changing environments. But the design goes far beyond bones and muscles. Your cardiovascular system is optimized for continuous motion. When you walk, your heart doesn't just pump harder, it pumps smarter. Blood flows more efficiently, oxygen is delivered more effectively, and your entire system operates in a rhythm it was built to sustain. Walking acts like a natural regulator, keeping everything in balance without overwhelming the body. Even your brain is wired for movement. There is a strong connection between physical motion and cognitive function. When you walk, especially at a steady pace, your brain enters a state that enhances clarity, creativity, and problem solving. This is not a coincidence. Early humans relied on this connection, thinking, planning, and navigating while moving. Your brain evolved alongside your body, expecting that motion would be a constant companion to thought. What makes walking so special is its simplicity and sustainability. Unlike intense bursts of activity, walking can be maintained for long durations without exhausting the body. It creates a steady demand on your systems without pushing them into stress. This balance is exactly what your body thrives on. Moderate, consistent activity that keeps everything engaged without breaking it down. However, this design also reveals something important. When you remove walking, you are not just reducing activity, you are going against the fundamental blueprint of your body. It's like having a machine that is meant to run continuously but choosing to leave it idle. Over time, systems that are not used begin to lose efficiency. Muscles weaken, circulation slows, and even neurological processes become less sharp. The modern lifestyle, filled with prolonged sitting and minimal movement, creates a mismatch between what your body expects and what it actually experiences. Your biology hasn't changed, but your behavior has. This gap is where many problems begin, not because your body is flawed, but because it's being used in a way it was never designed for. Walking, then, is not just exercise. It is a return to alignment with your natural design. It is the most basic way to fulfill the expectations your body has carried for thousands of generations. And when you understand this, walking stops feeling like something you should do and starts feeling like something your body quietly depends on every single day. The idea that sitting for long periods slows metabolism and weakens muscles may sound simple, but the underlying process is surprisingly complex and deeply connected to how your body manages energy and maintains strength. Your metabolism is not just about burning calories. It is a dynamic system that constantly adjusts based on how much you move. When you are active, especially during something as natural as walking, your body keeps energy flowing. Fuel is used, replenished, and regulated in a continuous cycle. The moment you sit down for extended periods, that cycle begins to slow. At a cellular level, movement acts like a signal that tells your body to stay active and efficient. Muscles contract. Enzymes responsible for breaking down fats and sugars increase their activity, and your body becomes better at managing blood glucose levels. But when you remain seated, those signals fade. The enzymes that help process fat become less active, meaning your body becomes less efficient at using fat as fuel. Instead of being burned, energy is more likely to be stored, often in ways that gradually lead to unwanted weight gain. This slowdown doesn't require days or weeks to begin. It can start within hours. When you sit still, your large muscle groups, especially in your legs and core, are barely engaged. These muscles play a major role in maintaining metabolic activity because they consume a significant amount of energy when in use. Without that engagement, your overall energy expenditure drops sharply, even if everything else in your routine remains the same. At the same time, your muscles begin to adapt to this lack of use. The body is highly efficient at conserving resources, so when it senses that certain muscles are not needed, it reduces the energy and maintenance allocated to them. This leads to a gradual loss of muscle strength and endurance. It's not a dramatic collapse, it's subtle. You don't suddenly feel weak, but over time, tasks that once felt easy begin to require more effort. The weakening of muscles also has a cascading effect. Strong muscles support your posture, stabilize your joints, and help maintain balance. When they weaken, your body compensates in inefficient ways. You may start slouching more, putting extra strain on your spine and surrounding tissues. Small imbalances develop, and these can eventually lead to discomfort or even injury. Another important aspect is how sitting affects insulin sensitivity. When you move regularly, your muscles actively take in glucose from your bloodstream, helping to keep blood sugar levels stable. But when you sit for long stretches, this process becomes less effective. Your body may need to release more insulin to manage the same amount of glucose, which over time can lead to reduced sensitivity. This is one of the early steps toward metabolic disorders, and it happens quietly without obvious warning signs. Circulation is also impacted. Movement helps pump blood through your body efficiently, but sitting for too long can cause blood flow to become sluggish, particularly in the lower parts of your body. This reduced circulation means that oxygen and nutrients are delivered less effectively, and waste products are cleared more slowly. The result is a general decline in how well your tissues function. All of this highlights a simple but powerful truth. Your body is not designed for prolonged stillness. It expects regular movement to keep its systems running smoothly. When that movement is removed, even something as seemingly harmless as sitting can trigger a chain reaction that affects metabolism, muscle strength, and overall physical function in ways that are gradual but significant. The idea that a lack of walking negatively impacts heart health and circulation is rooted in how closely movement is tied to the way your cardiovascular system functions. Your heart is not just a pump working in isolation. It operates as part of a dynamic system that depends heavily on physical activity to maintain efficiency. Walking, in particular, provides a steady and natural stimulus that keeps this system functioning the way it was designed to. When you walk, your muscles contract rhythmically, especially in your legs. These contractions act like secondary pumps, helping push blood back toward your heart. This process supports circulation and reduces the effort required from the heart itself. Blood flows more smoothly, oxygen is delivered efficiently, and your entire system operates with a kind of balance that is difficult to replicate in a sedentary state. Without this regular movement, that assistance disappears, and the burden on your heart suddenly increases. At the same time, walking helps maintain the elasticity of your blood vessels. Healthy arteries are flexible. They expand and contract as blood flows through them. This flexibility allows your body to regulate blood pressure effectively and ensures that blood can reach different areas without resistance. When movement is reduced, blood vessels tend to become stiffer over time. This stiffness forces the heart to work harder to push blood through the system, gradually increasing strain and potentially contributing to higher blood pressure. Circulation itself is deeply dependent on motion. In a moving body, blood is constantly being redistributed based on demand. Muscles require more oxygen during activity, so blood flow increases to those areas. This constant adjustment keeps the vascular system responsive and adaptable. When you spend long periods without walking, this adaptability begins to decline. Blood flow becomes more stagnant, particularly in the lower body, where gravity already makes circulation more challenging. This can lead to a feeling of heaviness, swelling, or fatigue, even if you are not aware of the underlying cause. Another critical factor is how walking influences heart rate. Regular walking gently elevates your heart rate, providing a kind of training that strengthens the heart muscle over time. Unlike intense exercise, which pushes the heart to its limits, walking offers a sustainable level of stimulation that improves endurance and efficiency. The heart learns to pump more blood with each beat, reducing the need for a higher resting heart rate. Without this regular stimulation, the heart does not receive the same level of conditioning, and its efficiency can gradually decline. There's also an important connection between movement and the regulation of cholesterol and other substances in the blood. Walking helps maintain a healthier balance by promoting processes that clear excess fats from the bloodstream. When you are inactive, these processes slow down, increasing the likelihood that unwanted substances will accumulate along the walls of your arteries. Over time, this buildup can narrow the pathways through which blood flows, further restricting circulation and increasing the workload on the heart. Oxygen delivery is another piece of the puzzle. Every cell in your body depends on a steady supply of oxygen carried by your blood. Walking enhances this delivery by improving both the flow of blood and the efficiency of your lungs and heart working together. When movement is limited, oxygen delivery becomes less efficient and tissues may not function at their best. This can manifest as lower energy levels, reduced stamina, and a general sense that your body is not operating as smoothly as it could. All of these effects develop gradually, often without immediate or obvious symptoms. The absence of walking does not cause sudden failure. Instead, it creates a slow shift away from optimal function. The heart becomes less efficient. Blood vessels lose some of their flexibility and circulation becomes less dynamic. What makes this particularly important is that these changes are not due to extreme conditions, but simply the absence of a basic activity your body expects. Your body. The idea that the brain suffers when walking is reduced may seem less obvious than physical effects, but it is just as real and deeply rooted in how the brain functions. Your brain is not an isolated organ working independently of your body. It is highly responsive to physical movement, especially something as natural and rhythmic as walking. When you walk regularly, you are not just moving your body, you are actively supporting the processes that keep your mind sharp, focused, and adaptable. One of the key connections between walking and brain function lies in blood flow. The brain requires a constant and rich supply of oxygen and nutrients to operate effectively. Walking increases heart rate in a steady, controlled way, which enhances blood circulation throughout the body, including the brain. This improved circulation ensures that brain cells receive what they need to function at their best. When walking is reduced, this supply becomes less efficient, and even though the brain continues to work, it may not perform at its full potential. There is also a strong link between movement and the production of certain chemicals in the brain. Walking stimulates the release of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which play major roles in mood, motivation, and overall mental clarity. These chemicals help regulate how you feel and how well you can concentrate. Without regular movement, the production and balance of these substances can be disrupted, leading to subtle changes in mood and cognitive performance. You might find it harder to focus, less motivated to engage in tasks, or more prone to feeling mentally drained. Another important aspect is how walking influences brain plasticity, which is the brain's ability to adapt, learn, and form new connections. Movement encourages the growth of new neural pathways, particularly in areas related to memory and learning. Walking, especially in a consistent and relaxed manner, creates an environment where the brain can process information more effectively. It allows thoughts to flow more freely, often leading to improved problem solving and creativity. When this activity is missing, the brain does not receive the same level of stimulation, and its ability to adapt can gradually decline. The rhythm of walking itself also plays a role. Unlike many other forms of activity, walking involves a repetitive, balanced motion that has a calming effect on the nervous system. This rhythm helps regulate stress levels by reducing the activity of stress-related hormones. As stress decreases, the brain can function more clearly and efficiently. Without this natural regulation, stress can build up more easily, interfering with memory, attention, and decision-making. Cognitive fatigue is another consequence of reduced walking. When you remain sedentary for long periods, your brain can become overloaded without the natural reset that movement provides. Walking acts as a kind of mental refresh, giving your brain a break from continuous focus while still keeping it engaged in a gentle, productive way. This balance allows you to return to tasks with improved clarity and energy. Without it, mental fatigue can accumulate, making it harder to sustain attention or think clearly over time. There is also evidence that walking supports long-term brain health by helping maintain the structures involved in memory and learning. Regular movement has been associated with preserving the size and function of key brain regions. When walking is reduced over long periods, these areas may experience a gradual decline, affecting how well you can retain information and adapt to new challenges. All of these effects are interconnected, forming a system in which physical movement and mental performance support each other. When walking is part of your routine, it quietly enhances how your brain operates in ways that are easy to overlook because they feel natural. When it is absent, the changes are often subtle at first, slightly reduced focus, a bit less mental clarity, a small drop in creativity, but over time, these small shifts can accumulate into noticeable differences in how effectively your brain functions. The idea that walking regulates hormones, including those related to stress and mood, reveals how deeply movement is connected to your internal chemistry. Hormones are not static. They are constantly being released, adjusted, and balanced based on what your body is doing. Walking plays a quiet but powerful role in keeping this system stable, acting almost like a natural regulator that prevents extremes and maintains equilibrium. One of the most important hormones influenced by walking is cortisol, often referred to as the stress hormone. Cortisol is not inherently bad, it is essential for alertness and energy. However, problems arise when cortisol levels remain elevated for long periods, which can happen easily in modern lifestyles filled with mental stress and little physical release. Walking provides a way for the body to process and reduce excess cortisol. The steady, repetitive motion signals to your nervous system that there's no immediate threat, gradually lowering stress levels and helping the body return to a calmer state. Without this release, cortisol can remain elevated, leading to feelings of tension, irritability, and even physical fatigue. At the same time, walking encourages the production of hormones that improve mood and emotional well-being. Endorphins, often called feel-good chemicals, are released during physical activity, even at moderate levels like walking. These substances interact with receptors in the brain to reduce the perception of pain and create a sense of ease or lightness. Unlike intense exercise, which can produce a sharp spike in these chemicals, walking offers a more stable and sustained release, leading to a balanced and longer-lasting effect on mood. Serotonin is another key player influenced by regular movement. This hormone is closely tied to feelings of happiness, stability, and overall mental clarity. Walking, especially in natural environments or open spaces, has been shown to support serotonin production. When serotonin levels are balanced, you tend to feel more emotionally steady, better able to handle challenges, and more focused in your thinking. Without enough movement, this balance can be disrupted, sometimes leading to low mood, lack of motivation, or a sense of mental fog. Dopamine, which is associated with motivation and reward, is also affected by walking. This hormone plays a critical role in how you approach tasks and pursue goals. Regular movement helps maintain a healthy dopamine cycle, making it easier to feel motivated and engaged. When physical activity is limited, dopamine regulation can become less efficient, which may result in decreased drive or difficulty finding satisfaction in everyday activities. Walking also impacts insulin, a hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar levels. When you walk, your muscles use glucose as fuel, helping to keep blood sugar levels stable. This reduces the need for large amounts of insulin and helps maintain sensitivity to it. Without regular movement, the body may require more insulin to manage the same amount of glucose, which over time can disrupt hormonal balance and lead to broader metabolic issues. Another subtle but important effect of walking is its influence on sleep-related hormones, particularly melatonin. Regular physical activity helps regulate your internal clock, making it easier for your body to recognize when it is time to be alert and when it is time to rest. Walking during the day can improve the quality and consistency of sleep at night, which in turn supports overall hormonal balance. When sleep is disrupted, many hormones, including those related to stress, hunger, and mood, can become misaligned. All of these hormonal effects are interconnected. Walking does not target just one system. It creates a ripple effect that supports balance across multiple processes at once. When movement is part of your routine, your body is better equipped to manage stress, maintain emotional stability, and regulate energy levels. When it is absent, these systems can drift out of balance, not suddenly, but gradually, influencing how you feel both physically and mentally in ways that are often difficult to trace back to a single cause.